Bo, 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 bo. What's up YouTube, welcome back to Activity. Today I'm looking at the BOone by Jwell out of France actually, but I believe these are manufactured in China, but it's by a French company. What is the BOone? The BOone is a closed system device, which basically means that it has pre-filled cartridges full of e-liquid, varying strengths. You get like 12 I've seen, 24 and 28. This is a 28 right here. And the closed system basically means that you don't refill it, although I'll show you kind of how to do it after if you need to. It's pre-filled with the liquid. All you do is you slide it into the device, light comes on, and then you vape it. There's a lot of information in this review that I need to get through, so bear with me. Let's start with the box. In the box you get your BOone and you get the charger. You don't get the two pods that it says it comes with, but you do get them separately in a complimentary 2-pack box of the pods. All good, you do get those two pods, just not in the box. You also get a user manual that tells you about the battery life, so let's talk about that. When it's fully charged, you get a bright blue light. When it's kind of midway, you get a white light, which you can see here. And then when it's pretty much almost dead, you're gonna get a red light. It's a pretty simple system. Also, it's made in France. You get the blue, white, and red. Cool connection. I didn't know that. Thank you, Rowan, for pointing that out to me. Now, in the manual, yes, it does tell you how to use it, but there's also a bunch of flavors that they list, and there's some confusion with the flavors. Like I said, they don't come in the box. Every place that they send the BOone to, like they distribute it to, is gonna have their own flavors. So I wouldn't concern yourself with what you see in the manual. Just look at where you bought it and see what flavors they have, and maybe look other places because everyone has different stuff. I know that a bunch of Canadian e-liquid manufacturers are getting their liquids put into the pods for the BOone, so I'm looking forward to that. For now, I just have kind of the standard ones that it came with. I'm not sure who manufactured the e-liquid, but I'm pretty sure that it was just done by Jwell to get this first round of BOones into the system. So since it's a closed system, you don't worry about buying bottles of e-liquid, you just buy the pods, and they come in packs of 3. Now your standard kind of pack of anything comes with about 5, say, coils, but since these ones hold 1.5 milliliters of e-liquid, which is slightly more than, say, like the Jwell, which holds 0.7 milliliters, and it comes with 4 of them in a pack. This one only comes with 3 because it holds a bit more, and they cost $17.99 Canadian dollars. If you compare it to regular priced packs of cigarettes that you're buying, if you're smoking a pack a day, it's probably going to work out cheaper. But if you're already using coil systems, if you're building your own coils, definitely this is going to be way more expensive, but it's kind of worth it because, like, for me, I use stuff like this when I'm going out and about. I try not to use it too much at home because I just chain vape it, but when I'm going out and I need to take a vape break, or in your case if you're a smoker, a smoke break, it works out well. Now, as far as the flavors that you get, so far I've tried pretty much all that they sell at the eSafe Flavorium except the tobacco flavor. I've tried it, but I haven't had a pack to myself. Now, right now I'm using the fruit punch flavor, which is my favorite. It's a really good fruit punch flavor. It's kind of like your generic Kool-Aid kind of mixture drink, but the flavor is quite strong, which I like. The other ones I've had is the breezy mint, which to me tastes like a weak white Tic Tac flavor. If it was a lot stronger, I would really like it because I like mint. I like kind of that like vanilla tinge to it, and it's a nice flavor. It's just not strong enough at all, and it's kind of bland. The other one I've tried is apple tobacco, and just the same with the breezy mint. It tastes really nice, but it's just not strong enough. Now, the flavors aren't my biggest concern with the pods. My biggest concern with the pods is the quality control, because it's good that this happened with this one. This is my last one of the fruit punch, and these are supposed to come out kind of easier, I think. I have to put a decent amount of pressure to get this off, which can be a good thing, and if you have a good pod, it feels nice. It feels like it makes a solid connection. It's not going anywhere, it's not going to fall out, it's not going to lose connection. But in a case like this should slide in. I'm not exaggerating, I promise you. This should slide in. But it doesn't slide in that easily. It feels like a few of the pods that I've had out of, say, the 9, I think that I've had, 9 or 10 or whatever, a good set of them have not fit properly in the device. You have to actually slam it down, and I guess it bends it, and then part of this green actual pod has ripped before. What the f? That should not be happening in a system like this. If I was a smoker and I went and the first one that I put in didn't work, I would be pissed off. That's something that I really think needs to be fixed. But once it's in, it vapes really, really well. I find the airflow is tight enough for a mouth to lung. Of course, it's supposed to be. It's definitely tighter, I find, than the Von Earl. But it's kind of like the Von Earl once it kicks in. If you watch my other review for the Von Earl, I kind of said that it takes like almost a second for the Von Earl to kick in because it has such a weak pressure sensor. This is kind of like the Von Earl once it's kicked in, and it vaporizes really nice. You feel the snap, crackle, and pop, and you hear it. It's just, it feels like vaping done well. The throat hit, of course, is very decently strong. In this is 28 milligrams. Once we get into refilling the pods, I'm gonna try with the 45 milligram Mr. Salty salt-based nicotine e-liquid, and I think that may be very nice, but we'll have to see. I haven't tried it yet. As far as the build quality, this is my favorite so far. It's about the size of the Jwell, maybe very slightly taller and very slightly thicker, but it feels a hell of a lot stronger. It feels more substantial. I really like this, and I like the Von Earl because it was more substantial, but it was kind of slippery. This is not as slippery. I can hang it from my lips and vape it, and it works well. The only problem I have with the kind of the hardware of this thing, besides from the pods not fitting all the time, is the charger. The charger is wobbly as fuck. It has almost the same exact system as the Jwell, which is like a USB. You drop it in and it's supposed to charge, and it does charge, it does the job, but it just wiggles and wobbles, and it just does not feel secure in there. With the Jwell, I used to be able to at least like pick up my laptop and walk around, and it wouldn't really move around. I would still be cautious of it. With this one, I really have to keep an eye on it and make sure that it's not gonna fall off. I'm not sure if it will fall off because I've been cautious of it, but it definitely seems like it does not feel stable at all in the charger, and that is a problem that I think needs to be fixed. But speaking of the charger, there are two other options to charge it. There is a cord which you can buy separately. I haven't personally seen it, I've only seen it in videos, and it looks very similar to the MyJet charger. The other option is kind of like a portable power bank for the BOone, and it costs more than the device itself. It costs $60 as opposed to the $50 that this costs, Canadian, remember. And I actually really like it. It has a big battery, like 1300 milliamp hours, I believe, or it might be 15, but you basically just slide it in. I'm sorry I don't have it here. You slide it in, it has a spot for an extra pod, and you can actually vape it while you use it, and it's about the size of like a dual 18650 mod. So if you wanted something that performs like this and it uses the closed system, but you didn't want something that had like a short battery life or anything, you could walk around with that, and you're paying about the price of a regular mod, but you get this performance out of it, which I think is cool. It's a good option to give. And that's about it for the BOone. I mean, I really like this system. I like the build quality of it, I like the vape, I like the flavors so far that they come out with. I'm excited to see what else they do with them. I'm excited to see if they put nic salts into any of these pods. I'm excited for the fact that this is being marketed to Canada. The pods are clearly being filled in Canada now at some capacity. I'm excited to see if they make a refillable version, because this is not supposed to be refillable. It's kind of difficult, but I really like the BOone. I think it's a good price. I like the flavors. I keep repeating myself. It's good. It's good. It's not without its flaws. The pods need to be fixed. That little dinky wobbly charger definitely needs to be fixed. Besides from that, I think it's a push in the right direction. So if that's all you wanted to know about the BOone, thank you for watching. I will see you again next time. If you want to know how to fill the pods, we're gonna do that now. First of all, I just want to say thank you to Coilmaster for sponsoring the up close portion. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not sponsored by Coilmaster, but they sent me this vape mat and this bag thing, this pee bag. Kind of cool. They've never really asked me permission or ask me to review any of their stuff. They just kind of send me stuff. But this vape mat, it's huge, it's large, but it serves its purpose. It's kind of like a really big mouse pad. Anyway, here is an open pod for the BOone. So basically, to get this off, this was the first one I tried, and it was hard. You can see I kind of like messed it up pretty badly, and if you look on the sides, turn it this way, these bits are normally squeezed in, but I had to like pry them apart. Had a lot of difficulty with this one. First try, that kind of always happens. So once you get that off, then you have this kind of plug that that's where you would fill it up from. So all you do is get something underneath there. If you have nails on your fingers, you might not even need a screwdriver, and then it pops out. And that's what it looks like there. So rest that to the side. Now that is a relatively small hole. I'm not sure if you can see that well. And on this side, that's not a hole, that's sealed up. I'm not sure why they gave a plug and didn't just seal it like on the other side, because if they didn't want it to be refilled, why not just seal it a final time? But I'm not complaining because now I can fill it. But like I said, it's a small hole. And here I'm just using Mr. Salty Cannoli, 45 milligrams. This is 45 milligrams nicotine salt. So if you don't know what nicotine salts are, it's not gonna feel like a regular 45 milligram. So luckily this can kind of fit there, and then you can squeeze, but you see it kind of bubbles up. It's harder on camera, but it's not easy in any sense really. It just bubbles over. On the other one I've tried, so I don't want to mess this up now and waste my salty liquid, but I will show you the one I'm using now, which is already filled. You can already see the sides aren't as distorted as the other ones. There's some liquid seeping out, which is not a good thing, but I haven't had any gurgling or anything. You see it fits together all nicely, and I managed to fill it. So if you have like a syringe or something, a blunt tip syringe, you can fit it inside this hole really easily and get it filled, but you may have some difficulty when it comes to just using your regular dropper top kind of thing. So it fits in, the light comes on, and then you're ready to vape. You can see I got a little ding on mine just from dropping it, I guess, but yeah, that's what the bowl looks like up close again. And filling it up, I mean, it's not the easiest to fill. If you have a unicorn bottle, it might be easier. And getting the black bits off, getting this top cap off, you can hear it click into place, but when you get it off, I approached it by trying to go under here. The best way I've found is to go under this way and kind of get at the corners. This might go flying, but again, if you have fingernails that can do the job, it might be easier that way, but I don't, so it is pretty difficult, and I don't want to knock over my camera and tripod and stuff, but yeah, I don't want to mess it up again, but that's basically what you do. You just pry at it little by little on the sides, on the corner, wiggle it with your fingers. Eventually it will come off. My advice, don't do what I did. Don't mess it up. Don't pry at it too deep or anything. Be patient, take your time, and over time you will be able to get it done pretty much flawlessly. This was my second one, and I managed to get it done really easily. So yeah, that's about it, how to refill the pod. Obviously you can't get into the bottom, so you can't re-wick it like you can with the MyJet, but refilling it is better than having to buy a new one every single time. And that's about it. So thank you. I'm going to take a vape off this to take us out of here, and then we're gone.